yeah, I think this could cause a little bit of an issue. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Red Sea Radio. My name is Corbin, and thank you very much for clicking on the second video of the day. I didn't know whether or not to keep this until tomorrow or just go over it right now, but I gotta tell you, I'm pretty fired up about this, so I think we gotta talk about it right now. If you guys have not heard the news yet, Rafael Devers did his first press conference of the 2025 season, and yeah, things did not go super well, so we're gonna dive into this a little bit. We're gonna talk about maybe what to come out of this press conference thinking, and we gotta start with what actually happened in this press conference. So for those of you who may be a little bit behind on Red Sox news, the overall arching theme of the Alex Bregman conversation was always sort of Alex Bregman playing second base, right? Even Jeff Passan, when Alex Bregman was signed, said, look, the Red Sox are thinking about holding Alex Bregman to second base. Now, all of a sudden, Bregman's official signing comes into play here, and the Red Sox start talking about, oh, we don't know where he's going to play. We're still looking at roster construction. All of a sudden, it kind of really sounds like the Red Sox are very seriously considering moving Alex Bregman to third base. Well, of course, Boston media, being Boston media, had to, we'll say, ask. I'm not going to throw politely in there because I don't think there was much politeness in this. Rafael Devers about that conversation. Rafi just simply was not happy about it. A couple of things that I want to put out in this video. I do want to put Rafael Devers' actual answer to this question, but I'm just going to talk about it right now too. Rafael Devers was asked point blank, do you want to DH for the Red Sox? Something along those lines. His answer, very simply, no. Right? Rafael Devers multiple times. I'm a third baseman. In my contract with the Boston Red Sox, I was told that I'm going to be the third baseman here for a very long period of time. I do not want to move off of third base.
Good. So are you saying if they ask you to DH, you won't do it?
No.
Can you expand on that?
I played third.
There are a couple things that I want to say here. First and foremost, he didn't outright say that he would never DH for this Red Sox team. In fact, he was asked later on if he would never consider DHing for the Red Sox. He said no, right? No. I would consider it. It just needs to be under circumstances. He didn't obviously say that in the presser, but that's sort of what came out of it. Now, the other thing that came out of this was that the Red Sox have talked to Rafael Devers about moving off a DH. However, that conversation took place on Friday. So there are going to be a couple of really big immediate reactions to this news. A lot of people are going to panic and they're going to say, oh my God, they pissed off Rafael Devers. They went this entire offseason. They got what they needed. Now their best player, who, by the way, is still their best player. I'm seeing a lot of people really sort of slam on Rafael Devers simply because they didn't like an answer to his question. We'll get into that in a second, but still their best player, immediately piss him off the second he gets to spring training. Not exactly the best thing to do. The other thing here is that let me run you through this as if you weren't a Major League Baseball player. Let's say you worked reception at a bank. That's now your job. You've been working this bank teller job for the last 6 years, right? You're pretty comfortable here. In fact, you're probably their best receptionist. You come into work Friday afternoon. I'm talking 3 days ago, folks, 3 days ago. And your manager comes up to you and he says, hey, listen, look, we want to move you off a receptionist. You know, maybe you're not exactly great on the phones. We're going to get someone in here who's good on the phones. There is going to be, I don't think anyone here, right? If you were in that receptionist position would sit there and say, oh yeah, sure, no problem, right? No, you're going to sit there, you're going to say, well, wait a second here, Jim. I've been here 6 years. I've been here 6 years. You've worked with me consistently on getting better at talking on the phone. You've seen my improvements. Yes, I still have mishaps. Yes, I'm still not the best. In fact, one of the worst callers or phone people in my entire division. But at the same point too, you've paying me to do this job for 6 years. Now all of a sudden you want to replace me, right? You're not going to be happy about that. And you certainly aren't going to be happy about that 3 days after you're told, right? The Red Sox waited until after Alex Bregman was officially signed, which I guess to some degree is smart, but the fact that they did not have a single conversation with Rafael Devers until Alex Bregman was signed, to me, is absolutely mind-boggling. You sit there, again, this is your best player. This isn't some position player that's been here for a while who's kind of replaceable. No. This is your $300 million superstar. You waited until you actually signed somebody to put his job in jeopardy. You didn't have a conversation back in November, December, January at all saying, hey, Rafi, listen, we're looking at these guys. There is a slight possibility that at some point we may have a conversation with you about changing positions, and here's how we're going to go about it, right? Rafi, to some degree, may not be a blindside to us because we've been breaking this thing down the entire offseason, but to Rafi, this might be a little bit of a blindside. So, of course, when you're asked the question, hey, are you okay moving to DH? He's going to be like, no, you paid me a year ago, right? The contract was a couple of years ago, but it went into effect last year. You started paying me last year to be your third baseman. That's what I signed up for. Now, not even a year into this contract, you want to move me off of third base, not just for Bregman, right? I think the conversation would be different. There was someone else already there at second base, and Bregman's only fit on this roster was third base. But for Christian Campbell, right? Because that's another thing we've got to include in here. The fact that the Red Sox are essentially saying, look, Rafi, we could put Bregman over at second base, but we're actually going to move you off the field for a guy who's never played Major League Baseball. Again, we're gonna talk about this in a second, but pride-wise, you don't do that to your superstar player. You just don't. I'm sorry, you just don't, right? Maybe in a year or so after Christian Campbell is proven that he could play at the Major League level, fine. Then you have a legitimate conversation with Rafi. Look, this is what he's been doing on the field. This is what you've been doing on the field. Take a gander as to which one's actually going to help this team, right? Because that, at the end of the day, is what the Red Sox needed to do. They needed to ease him into this. They needed to figure out what the best solution for Rafi was, what the best solution for the Red Sox was. And there's going to be so many people, and this drives me nuts about these conversations, is Rafi gets upset because he hasn't had a ton of time to figure out why the Red Sox want to move him off of third base. That are going to go, trade this bum. Trade him. Guy doesn't, not a team player. Right, not a team player. We got another Noma over here. Guys, what are we talking about? This isn't trading anybody. This is trading someone you paid 10 years, $300 million to. That's absolutely ludicrous, especially, again, for 3 years, possibly less, maybe a pretty large chance it's less of Alex Bregman and an unproven Christian Campbell, as touted as he may be. You want to trade your star player to fit those guys into third base? To me, that makes no sense at all, and it drives me absolutely crazy that people are actually sitting there saying, I'd rather have Christian Campbell than Rafael Devers. Christian Campbell could be great, and in 2 years, he could be better than Rafael Devers. We don't know, but that's my point. We don't know. Rafi has proven time and time again he is an elite bat. He's an elite offensive talent. To make him mad over someone who's never played Major League Baseball before and a guy that you have for 3 years on this team, who a lot of you guys didn't even want in the first place, doesn't make any sense to me, and it drives me absolutely insane. Now listen, is the right move for the Red Sox to put Rafi at DH? Yes. I'm not going to sit there and argue that. Rafael Devers is not a good defensive player. We could all agree with that, right? He's not good defensively. Alex Bregman, very good defensively. Christian Campbell, really solid defensively. Vaughn Grissom, whoever they end up putting there. But the big thing is that it's because of Campbell that they want to move Bregman over to third base so they could fit him into the lineup. He's pretty solid over there at defensively at second base as well. Your team would be better on paper with Rafael Devers at DH, and we've known that this entire offseason. It's why we've been talking about Bregman and Arenado for weeks now, because it made the team better on paper. My argument is not that the Red Sox shouldn't move Rafi at all. My argument is the fact that you knew this entire offseason, because you are connected with Rafael Devers, that this was going to be a problem. And instead of facing it and instead of coming to some conclusion with him, you decided the day he gets back from his daughter's birthday in the Dominican Republic and the day you signed his replacement to have this conversation. You guys also have to remember, because I know there are going to be a lot of people who are opposed to Rafael Devers being angry about this, and I get it, but you guys have to remember, one, this was a deal that he signed where he was told he is going to be the third baseman of the Red Sox. That is a lot of money and a guarantee, and Rafi takes things personally. It's just who he is. Two, this is not a conversation he's been having the entire winter. This is a conversation he's had 72 hours ago. Again, go back to the receptionist job, right? If they told you you're a stellar receptionist, you're just not great on the phones, we're moving you totally off so that you could only focus on receptioning and not answering the phones. For someone else, 3 days beforehand, you're going to be a little bit miffed about that too, 72 hours later. And 3, I always go back to Rafi's connection with Xander Bogaerts. Xander was a leader on this team. He was a leader in the clubhouse. Rafi, not so much a leader on the clubhouse, but he's sort of the face of the franchise with his performance on the field. He watched his best friend have his replacement signed directly in front of him, and all of a sudden, Xander Bogaerts is no longer on this team. There's got to be a part of him that is seeing Alex Bregman come in, hearing those conversations with Alex Cora, with Craig Breslow, and being like, what the hell? They're doing it to me too, right? I would be miffed. You know what doesn't help? When a reporter in the middle of Rafael Devers getting stormed with questions about his future on the Boston Red Sox goes, hey, you, how much do you weigh?
Yeah.
What is your weight?
Well, 240.
Thank you.
With some of the pieces like Walker, Buehler coming in.
Right? What are we doing? I get it. You guys have concerns over Rafi's weight. You've had concerns over Rafi's weight for years now, and guess what? He's been fantastic every single year. So the fact that you guys, if there is someone in my comment section that makes a comment about his weight, I promise you'll not be able to comment on these videos again because you sit here and year in, year out, you go, he's looking tubby. He's looking tubby. First of all, you got paid $300 million for being a professional athlete, by the way. 2, every single year someone says that, and every single year Rafael Devers is one of the best hitters in baseball. It drives me absolutely crazy. I'm worked up about this. Because what the Red Sox are doing is they are creating problems they don't need to create. Yes, Christian Campbell is an incredible potential piece for this Red Sox team. And yes, you should move Rafael Devers to DH at some point in the near future if you have this electric defensive capabilities already on your roster, which they do in Alex Bregman. It's the way they went about it that drives me absolutely crazy. There has got to be a better way to go to Rafael Devers instead of saying, hey, we signed this guy. Oh, and by the way, this prospect is coming up. Get the hell off of third base. There has to be a better way to do that. And I don't know if that's exactly their conversation, but that's what everything else leading up to it has led me to believe. So I don't know. I sit there, it drives me absolutely insane. The next thing I wanted to talk about was when Rafael Devers asked, hey, look, if you are told that Alex Bregman is the third baseman of this team, your only spot is in DH, are you going to ask for a trade? And you know what? He didn't say no. That drives me absolutely crazy, right?
Drafted me. I've been here my entire career. I'm a Bostonian through and through. And I really haven't, asked myself that question. But I'm open to listening and hearing what they have to say moving forward. It's not like I'm close to those conversations.
There are going to be so many people that sit here and go, oh, he's selfish. Look, guys, this is your entire livelihood, right? This is who you've been for over a decade. You were signed at 16 years old to play with the Boston Red Sox. And in 3 days, the entirety of sort of your whole identity here outside of, offense has been Rafi's identity, but he's always taken pride in the fact that he got paid to be a third baseman for the Boston Red Sox. That gets swept out onto you. You're not going to be happy. Right now, he's not thinking about the team, and that's okay. That's okay. You know whose job it is to get him to think about the team? It's Alex Cora, and that's why I love Alex Cora's response to this. He let Rafi go first. He specifically said that in his press conference, and then he comes out and he says this about Rafi.
Like I said a few days ago, decisions are going to be made here about, roster construction and what we're going to do in the future, and we're going to make sure we have the best team possible out there, and he has a lot of pride. We know that, and he feels like he's a third baseman. He's going to work out as a third baseman, and then we're going to make decisions accordingly, But I think here it's not about Bregman or Devers or Cora. It's about the Red Sox, right? And whatever decision we make is for the benefit of the team.
I love that. That's Cora saying, look, guys, I got it. I'm going to figure this out. We're going to make sure that what's best for the Boston Red Sox gets done, and I'm going to find the best way to do that. And again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not arguing, because I know there are people that are going to say, how could you defend Devers at third base? I'm not. I'm saying Rafael Devers should be the DH of this team. It's the best possible route to the Red Sox best chances of winning this year. My point is They need to figure this out. A mad Rafael Devers is the worst possible thing the Red Sox could have. Again, this is your best player. You paid Bregman $10 million more than Rafael Devers. Devers is the better player. He's the more impactful player potential-wise, right? He is your best player on this team. You need to make sure that he does not want to leave this team. You need to make sure that he wants to be with this team. And you need to make sure he is playing his best, because the mentality baseball players have is so incredibly important. It just feels like right now the Red Sox went about it a totally wrong way. And if you're blaming Devers for this, again, you have to remember all the other factors that are going into this, not just the fact that he's upset he might be moved off at third base. I get it. You guys want to flame the guy. You guys want to flame the guy for not being a team player. And you know what? If Cora sits him down, he has longer conversations. If Cora can't figure this out, if he's trying to make the best of this situation for Rafi, and Rafi at the end of spring training is still up in arms about the DH thing, then we can have a conversation about him refusing to be a team player. But he just got bombarded by a group of people asking about his weight, repeatedly asking him if he'd want to get traded, repeatedly asking him if he believed he was a good third baseman. Over and over again, you're going to start to get a little snippy. At least I would. I'm getting snippy right now, just imagining the comments on this video. I haven't even posted it yet, so I can't imagine what Devers felt like sitting on that bench. My point in this is that the Red Sox should have gone about this a better way. Is it the right move for the Red Sox to improve their third base defense while also improving their second base defense? Absolutely. Is it probably better for Devers in the long run in terms of impact, being able to stay healthier at DH? Absolutely. But those things need to be shown to Rafi. We could say that all we want, but Rafi needs to be able to understand that and materialize that and figure out, oh, okay, this makes sense before we make those decisions. And the Red Sox did the exact opposite thing, and it's got to feel like a bit of a slap in the face if you're Rafael Devers. So I totally understand Rafael Devers' frustration. I think you guys should too. Again, I still think it's the right move, but it needs to be taken a different route. That's just my opinion, though, and I'm sure we are going to get a whole lot of disagreements in the comment section, so let me know what you guys think. What do you think about this whole Rafael Devers situation? Do you like it? Do you not like it? I have to imagine no one really likes this situation, but let me know all your thoughts on what's going on with Rafael Devers in the comment section down below. As always, if you guys have made it to the end of this video, do me a favor. Make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. Helps these videos out a ton, and it's the best way to let me know you're enjoying the content. Don't forget, if you guys want to listen instead of watch these episodes, the best way to do that is to head over to your favorite podcasting app and look up Red Seat Radio. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one, and I will see you in the red seats.